Afternoon from the second day of the second TFT, which is an important event, which is very important for us, the American-Hellenic Chamber, which offers ideas and what its title says, tries to connect education with entrepreneurship so that it becomes the focus of innovation and entrepreneurship. And we managed to bring together all these people these 2 days, which is a huge pool of beautiful, innovative things, which gave us ideas, food for thought, and a vision for the future. Digitalization is always in the forefront. Digitalization is what changes economy, society, and the entire operability that we're living in. We have a government that is constantly striving forward. Today, your ministry announced smart cities, and we believe that this is going to help society and businesses. Cities that are going to be close to businesses and will embrace all these innovations. In the previous year, you were also present, and what we realized was that we had a lot of people attending this event and listening to the discussions, and we received a lot of feedback. So it's great to have you with us, Mr. Minister, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice President of the Hellenic American Chamber. Since this is one of the closing sessions in this this wonderful event, I would like to have this discussion with the state authorities and the leadership of our chamber. Dear Minister, I would like to start with you, and I would like you to share with us how we can have a constant flow of skilled personnel. We see that Thessaloniki was chosen by one of the leading companies worldwide to create jobs to put us on the map. Deloitte, Cisco, Pfizer, and many others that are coming. So we want to hear your position on the government's actions. First of all, let me congratulate you on this wonderful initiative. We need constant dialogue. I think this is going to improve our work and benefit all of us and the region. We've had the creation of a hub of innovation in Thessaloniki, as you mentioned, but the greatest asset is the high-level scientific staff that we have here. This is a guarantee that safeguards that there's going to be a continuity. We have high level of educational institutes, not just in Thessaloniki, but across the country, Eastern and Western Macedonia, Aristotle, University of Macedonia, International University, University of Western Macedonia, and the Demokritio University. From one border to the next, from the west to the east. And this is, I believe, a very important incentive for ambitious companies. Now, if you also take consideration the stable asset of the region, the great significance of the region because of the recent geopolitical developments, the competitive advantage of Thessaloniki, which ensures prosperity for people working in the companies that are active in the city, that are based in the city. So we have a mixture of positive advantages, and if you put that in the broader picture of a reform-friendly, development-friendly, growth-friendly government, which has constantly strived and has been striving for excellence, for improvement, for development through its legislative, its very large legislative work. This shows the strength of reform and how this transforms into an improvement of our economy, a development of our economy, so that the region becomes an attractive investment destination. We've all worked on that, but with specific initiatives on the part of the Prime Minister, Mr. Mitsotakis, it becomes reality. I will come back to what you said. Mr. Mayor, I'm sure that being the mayor of Thessaloniki want to make Thessaloniki the hub of the north. How can all stakeholders in Thessaloniki promote this vision? How do you support it? This is our final objective, and this is, I think, to a large extent, something that we managed to achieve. My administration, my position in the leadership of the city, of the municipality, has been an alliance of what is positive, of positive work, positive thinking. We try to promote our city and make people see it as a place worth investing in. In the past 3 years, this is something that we managed to achieve to a large extent. Central government, the local authorities, both on the level of region and municipality. You know that we have many municipalities in the broader region, but the minister mentioned the universities in Thessaloniki, but also in the broader region, also the chambers. And given this opportunity, let me congratulate you on your effort, on your participation, on your commitment to this development. And of course, businesses. It's very important to put forward all these incentives and this environment, this broader environment, which makes our city so attractive. And this is something that we promoted, I think, these positive, particular characteristics of the city. It's gastronomy, for example. The municipality of Thessaloniki became a gastronomical destination of UNESCO. We are very pleased. It was our pride all these years. But it's very important to make this a reality, and this makes the city more extrovert. So all these activities, all these actions, we have a very good network of hospitality, the issue of the quality of life, safety, well-being. So I think we've done things, but we're still at the beginning. A very difficult problem is transport, urban transport. We are very close to its solution. We are going to have the subway operating in a while. Our port, our airport has very high number of arrivals. This year we're going to have 6 to 7 arrivals of cruise ships. Last year we had only 12. Thessaloniki is changing. Thessaloniki is very attractive, not because we say so, but because many people outside the city confirm that. So I'm very proud of that. Thank you very much. I will come back to the smart transport issue and the smart cities. We are one of the municipalities that have made some steps. I don't know what Stavros announced for smart cities, the government, the Ministry of Interior. Now let's go to the businesses. Our Vice President, Mr. Kafatos, who is also a partner in Deloitte, one of the most important players, companies that have chosen Thessaloniki. Deloitte, Cisco, and Pfizer have chosen Thessaloniki, but also play a leading role in our chamber. And this is the role of the chamber, how much we have contributed to this very important activity that has managed to put Thessaloniki on the map of the international multinationals. Mr. Kafatos, from the perspective of the businesses, especially in Deloitte, I know that you have trained and employed over 300 people in the past 3 years. You have managed to bring people in. You are a cell for the broader region. So give us an idea of what is good, what was negative, your experience. Thank you very much. It's true that in the past years we have managed to create the first center of innovation, development and talent in Thessaloniki, the largest in the Deloitte network in Europe. Now we have 900 young entrepreneurs with plans to develop much more in the next years. The emphasis, this core and the focus of all this effort is education and training to cultivate talent, to focus on new skills of the future. And we managed to achieve that through various initiatives and actions. Let me mention 5 of those. One action, one initiative is the focus on education and training, reskilling, upskilling, state-of-the-art skills, capabilities of the future, and the provision of a very interesting subject, object of employment, our involvement in research centers worldwide, exchange of views and ideas and experiences with colleagues around the world. The second thing I wanted to mention is that our very close cooperation with universities that the Minister and the Mayor mentioned. Universities of Thessaloniki, research centers focusing on the interconnection between the production of research and knowledge with the needs of the labor market. The third is the provision of an alternative career, the ability to have hybrid work, remote work, where we employ people not just from Thessaloniki, but in other cities, in our offices in Patras, in Heraklion, and other cities that have strong universities, and we give the opportunity to our people to work from wherever they wish. The fourth is the provision of a very exciting field of work, of inspiration, of life, with an emphasis on diversity. Diversity inclusion. We focus on that because only through this can we have alternative perceptions in the different issues and really give value to our clients. And finally, focus on the younger ages from the primary school, primary education, so that we give an information to young girls of STEM skills. We cooperate with high schools, Anatolia High School, and the STEM Center of Anatolia, and a lot of other activities. We know your course and your involvement with the academic community, and these cooperations are very important, and they really help entrepreneurship, business, and all your activities. Dear Minister, you mentioned earlier something that is very interesting for the entire business world and economic development and the new development law that is going to be announced soon. This is something that the business community and society are looking forward to. Could you give us an idea about the part that will cover Macedonia and Thrace? What are we to expect in education and business in general? It's true that the market is very eager, and it's also true that we have specific tools that will allow us to create a safer and growing future. The Fund of Development and other tools were going to billions of euros. So we have weapons to win our future. The development law, and a large part of it will be for northern Greece, especially for medium-sized enterprises that can really benefit from this new law, something that we're looking forward to. The sector of Macedonia and Thrace is now responsible for business plans from 1 to 10 million euros. So this will give a reward to the great work that we've accomplished together in order to manage to over double the money that we had in the market in the past year. And although we had some rumors about the move of the ministry, this is not true. So the businessmen from northern Greece, and you can understand these business plan will be a really large part of the new law. So I believe that's very important that we keep them here. But we're doing something more. We have legal consultants who will help us accelerate our work. You know that the business community, and we know that the business community was really had a really difficult time because of the last two development laws. We have the first time we have such investment-friendly government who are really interested in facilitating investors and accelerating the process. After September, we're going to have a workshop, a hybrid workshop addressed to all businessmen. We're going to have one day every month for all the stages that are necessary in order to move with a business plan, so that all stakeholders, ministry, organizations, business consultants and businessmen, we can all agree on a common definition that we can avoid misunderstandings and misconceptions. So that will help us greatly. This is an innovation. I will also be responsible for that. And we also organized other initiatives, other workshops. We organized in Thrace, also in Western Macedonia, in order to answer any questions, receive any questions or comments. So, what about the development law? When do you expect to submit it? We had a discussion with my colleague, Mr. Tsagiris. I think we're going to have developments in the summer. I think you're playing the role of a journalist. I think, yeah, I think you will be quite satisfied. The business community will be satisfied with the new law and the new tools. So, Mr. Mayor, go back to the academic community. You recently visited. No, he visited us. So you had a contact with neighboring countries, and you discussed the cooperation between the universities. The Prime Minister of the Serbs of Bosnia and Herzegovina, this was the title of the person. He came here, he visited the municipality, he came to me, and he also went to the rector of the Aristotelian University because he wants to bring his the students, the university students, and young adults to academic institutions. He wanted to establish cooperation with the International Center of Digital Transformation of Cisco. We decided to sign a memorandum of cooperation so that we receive students like we receive students from other universities, whether in domestic or foreign universities, so that we help them understand how new technologies work and how they help our economy. And from these discussions that we had, when we have meetings between authorities from different countries, they discuss tourism, culture. What I realized is that he was really willing in the cooperation with our academic institutions for their young students and young adults, working with our academic community, with our business community, with Cisco, for example, and we have moved forward in this cooperation. And this really shows the level of the work these companies do, the level of their employees, the level of our graduates. And something else I would like to talk about, Thessaloniki has a reverse trend. Brain drain becomes brain gain. And as a mayor of the city and as an engineer, and my friend Vassilis knows that very well, we have an accommodation problem at the moment, in this housing problem. Hundreds of people. I tried to see how many people we had that were hired, the new employees, and who came to the city, and they have a difficulty in finding houses, appropriate housing in the city, and you made significant interventions in helping them. And that's where the municipality, the state has to intervene so that we improve this, do something about this problem. We're also developing to the west. This is a wonderful hotel here, and when it was built, people were wondering why was it built in that part of the city, which is considered underdeveloped. But now we see how successful it is. Yorgos Mylonas, my friend, said that executives have much higher salaries. So for the businesses, it may create some issues, but for the young professionals, this is very important. For a person to be able to work in their home country, a person who graduates from Thessaloniki should be in a position to be or to work in Thessaloniki. And Thessaloniki will stay a city with open doors. So we have young people, junior executives coming in a very creative environment. I think I was informed that in Pfizer we have 18 different nationalities of employees. I think this is something unique for Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki is rediscovering its former identity, which because Thessaloniki has always been a multicultural, multi-linguistic, multi-language city. You also talked about robotics, some robotics programs that you have. Could you give us some details about that? First of all, apart from DTS that we have in cooperation with Cisco, we have OK-THES, which is a wonderful incubation center. We have very tangible outcomes. Over 2,000 people have received educational services. More than 150 startups have benefited, and the most successful have created over 200 jobs of high specialization, and they received over 5 million euros in funding by national and international competitive projects and international investment. This information is very important. Such an incubator of a municipality is really successful. Our cooperation with DTS and with educational bodies, private or public, is very important. We have a set of activities with university students and secondary and primary education students. So everyone in the city, every actor in the city is working with us in this direction. You talked about cooperation, so you now give me an opportunity to go back to Deloitte, one of the three companies that are making really a great difference for the city. So, Mr. Kafatos, tell us the role of corporations in this landscape between businesses, education, society. How do you see that? How did you experience that? Or what would you say to someone, to a company that want to come and invest here? It's a very nice question. Cooperation is at the forefront of the development of innovation and the development of the future of education. You say that we have ecosystems comprising universities, research center, the local communities, local society, the municipality, businesses, small, bigger, startups, citizens themselves should all cooperate in order to envision the future, in order to acknowledge and identify the needs and skills that will be needed in the future, and to have some flexibility and adjustability to uncertainties so that we move forward fast. I will mention a recent example. We are cooperating with a US company, one of the largest in the sector, that decided to come to Thessaloniki and establish a very large digital hub. We have a very close cooperation so that we find new employees, hire them, train them. They have been to the mayor, they've known the people of this ecosystem, the rector next week. So we are activating this entire ecosystem that you mentioned, so that we welcome and we support one more investment. So our bet is through the system to go to a virtuous circle that can bring further development, cultivate more talent with skills of the future, and will help maintain the growth of the city in the future. In this contact, what was the role of the academic community of the North? Has that contributed? I think the university, in cooperation with our quality of life in the city, were two of the main parameters that made these companies choose Thessaloniki and invest in innovation and digital technology centers. But moving on, I think what is important is to focus on cooperation with this ecosystem, but further develop the main asset, which is talent and skills of the future. Given this opportunity, dear Minister, I would like you to give us your views on education. What are the basic reforms that we're going to see in public education which may support businesses and this cooperation reform that people are looking forward to? In the past 3 years, we've had a number of reforms. Especially in the field of education, it's very important. Reform is very important for the near and the more distant future.
And we're trying to bring about major changes in a sector where the pathogenicities of the past and the ideological obsessions have been great. Other than that, you also know about the library issue. It's all over the media. So what we want to do is build more libraries, and we have a specific policy regarding public university areas, and we are going to stand our ground. This is common sense, and I'm sorry to say that in Greece, and everyone that has been abroad knows about this, and not just in Western countries. Well, we know that what we are trying to do right now with regard to reforming universities and having outward-looking universities. For example, we are going to have undergraduate programs being taught in a language other than Greek in the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. We are also doing things with regard to lifelong learning, and we are upgrading public primary and secondary schools by means of setting up model schools. The bill that was tabled in Parliament is mostly about those issues, as well as about linking education with the jobs market, and those of us who realize in which way the world is turning. We understand what needs to be done with regard to course quality in education. And of course, whenever university students opt for a given career, they do so always having in mind employment prospects. And there have to be substantive employment prospects underpinning each and every university degree. And this is what we want to achieve by means of this education bill that we have tabled in Parliament. Thessaloniki is a city of universities, and I think this is going to be of help to the local businesses. The level of the university students in Thessaloniki is very high. So if we are able to make things easier for them on a practical level, as well as on a regulatory level and on a legislative level, it will be of much assistance. I'm now turning to you, Mayor, to ask you to elaborate on the OK-THES incubator. What I can say is that this incubator is the result of our synergy with the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, and this is how we managed to obtain results regarding innovation. This has to be seen in the context of our digital governance center. And alongside our intelligent choices, as we call them, state-of-the-art technology and the new digital toolbox give us those possibilities. That is, the possibility to produce products, offer services, products and services that will be the groundwork, the springboard for anyone wishing to live and work in Thessaloniki. It is indeed thanks to the pandemic that we now find it so easy to communicate and to work online and remotely. Perhaps this is the good side, the positive side of the hardship that we went through during the past 2 years. Our term of office started at approximately the same time as the national government's term in office. And of course, it's usual for the people to nag about red tape, etc. So public authorities have to take drastic steps. And in any case, if one does not take part in the race at all, there's no way they are going to see the end of it. This is why Thessaloniki is going to have some excellent results. Thank you. In closing, Minister, what would you term as Thessaloniki's major projects? Indeed, Thessaloniki is changing mainly because infrastructure projects are underway. One of the most important projects and I know that this is a project that has been going on for so many years now. You know that 82% of the construction work for the Thessaloniki Metro has been completed. Sheet metal is being gradually removed, and this has its own psychological importance as well. So Thessaloniki is going to be right on track for its underground. The flyover project is going to be 13 kilometers long, and it is going to totally change the traffic situation in Thessaloniki. Regarding the seafront, a consultation has been completed on the first level and on the second level as well. Having said that, football stadiums are not just about one single football team. They can also be a pro-growth instrument. And this goes for the Nea Tumba Stadium. And the football team of Aris is going to have their new football stadium too. Football is very important, sport is very important. We are making progress with regard to road networks. The connection between Pathe Highway and the roads of the within the Thessaloniki port area is also a fact. I could also tell you about the former Pavlos Melas military barracks, which will go green. Our government is here to provide solutions to age-long problems. Why not mention the Meteora neighborhood, where 420 families had unsurmountable issues regarding the passing down of their houses to their sons and daughters. So, in addition to the major projects, there are several smaller projects that make a difference as well. Plus the 160 million worth hospital that will be built. So this is how the living standard of the citizens of Thessaloniki will go up. Thank you very much. This panel is also an activities report, if we can call it that, of the 2022 Thessaloniki Forward Thinking Dialogues event. Local government authorities and central administration authorities have to work together for the benefit of employment and investment and innovation. And let's hope that those companies that are now members of the board of our chamber will become more and more numerous. Thank you very much.